Right, I've hit the go live button and it tells me that we are live. Howdy, I'm Matt and welcome to this live stream on the LTErambler RS, the brand to do with that, and bringing into question everything which we expect as RC pilots and what you should expect from reviewers, etc., etc. on YouTube. It's a much deeper discussion to perhaps what we're used to. Also, I need to apologise. I've got a horrible cold. The kids have gone back to school last week. They brought home something nasty. Don't worry, it's not coughing aids. It's just a horrible cold. So my voice is a little bit funny. I do apologise about that from the beginning. So before we go any further, I have in the video description put you a link to Ali Scambo. That's rude. I do apologise. I have put a link to Ali's website in the video description for you. Okay, that was rude of me. Let's keep this very clean. There is one section which I would like you to focus upon because everything which happens before and after that, all the timelines are just wrong and have just been manipulated. And it's in their own words here. Okay, so their intentions, so that means mine, intentions are to defame Ali Mansour in any way possible, and defame and look down upon the LTErambler RS and upcoming, this is where they're not daft, eSheen Airloader products from a Banggood company. So remember this, these guys are not daft and they're taking a new route to keep me quiet. Okay, it's very, very specific, and I know what they're doing. And howdy everybody who is on the live version as well. So let's just get, because there is one factual piece here, which is, and everything else, the timelines are just wrong. Okay, so Songbao is a Chinese guy. So Songbao is the designer of the LTE, and it's been released long ago and gets a sample. So yes, I asked Banggood for a sample of this model, which I'm frankly very much regretting. This whole experience. It has not been very enjoyable. So what basically happened is that I created a video of the LTErambler. I'm sure many of you have been and seen this, and just like every other maiden and first flight, is sometimes things just don't go right, do they? Okay, we're terrible realists. We know that not every model is perfect, and there was a learning journey for all of us to take, which was that we launched the model and then we realised that it really didn't like the first launch, so we then went back, the battery had moved, so we reset the battery. The second launch still exhibited exactly the same issue, which is that we just couldn't get it airborne, and that was the journey which we took to understanding the model, that to launch it, even with just a normal 5200 4S pack, is that we need full throttle and a really hard throw. That was the purpose of the introduction of the video for anybody who had gone and purchased the LTErambler, that they then knew that you should use full throttle and a really hard throw to get the model launched. And as I've learned now over a period of time, it is a bit of a bar steward to get launched, and if you don't use anything more than full throttle, then you are going to have issues launching it. And that's the reason why I included that in the video. Because let's frankly be honest, it was funny that the model went in the ground, but also on a serious point, you went through a set of you understood the experience so when I said full knacker and don't throw it like a girl, you understood the process. So I created that video and I shared it, and I joined the LTErambler. There was only one group on Facebook for that, and I shared it in their group and went back to check on it the next day, and unfortunately I couldn't even find the group. They didn't like the video and they banned me, and I thought it was an Ali. If you looked in the group, there was 3 people over the previous video. 3 people: Ali Mansour, Songbao, and then another character, which was another Ali character. So I had a 66% chance of getting the right person, because there was 2 for the same person. So it didn't matter which one it was. One of them didn't like what I was posting. Very, very peculiar. By the way, Dimitri, and those of you which are just joining live, Dimitri, it's not even a case of escalating, it's a case of lying, and there is a big underlying issue here for all of us, and the implications of this for the future of what goes on, especially around free products reviews and also the LTE brand. There's a key point which I want to make very shortly. I do have a set of notes which I'm working to. By the way, those of you who have joined in live, we are going back and looking at a statement which has come out from Ali Mansour, a whole set of events which have all been twisted in and around to suit their own requirements. However, I'm just focusing upon the one key fact, which is that I posted the video, they didn't like it because they wanted to censor a less than perfect maiden of a model, and then that's where it all went south. The reason why it went south is because they feel they no longer have control over their brand for their model. That's the short answer, okay? Because when my video was and I was banned from a group, I was like, what the hell? This is not normal. Why would you have a review or just a flight video of a model? Why would you get banned from a group? It's not right. So I created my own Facebook group. In fact, I've got it up here. It's the LTErambler Facebook group. I'll get to that screen in just a moment. And you'll see that I've posted a comment about this a few moments ago. And you will see the replies from people who have just been following along from this, because they you can see that Bradley just doesn't understand this. I just don't understand this either. So I've come to the conclusion that this all falls down to control, and they have lost, and they have tried to lie and to censor and try and control a situation about a brand, and have failed really badly, to the point that a couple of weeks or so ago, they just tried calling me a racist for completely unnecessarily, and things have just gone out of control very, very quickly. So you can see what people's comments are. Now bring myself onto topic. So everything started from there because they had an underlying desire to make their product look as good as possible. Now, the thing is that they have stated many times that their model is perfect and does not require any modifications. If we look at I'm very happy with the review which I made of the LTErambler RS over on Banggood. I think it's very fair. The short version is that it does require some modifications. That's not unheard of. How many models which we've had here which are perfect out of the box? Some of them not. And in fact, in many ways, it makes certain Hobby King models look perfect in every possible way, compared to the mess which has gone on for this one. And I give some tips, etc. and etc. Anyway, we have a comment here. We totally disagree with this view. So this has to be Songbo or Ali, one of the two. This is a totally misguided review, and there's a key point in here. So they are trying to say that it's been done by hundreds of pilots. Where you go. There we go. There was a note in there that it's been flown by hundreds of pilots and they've never had an issue. And then we'll stop slandering Banggood and Eenshin products in his reviews and Facebook groups. Well, no, I'm not slandering a product. I'm saying, and I have said relentlessly, the model itself is not a bad model, but it does require one or two modifications. And I don't think that they have really taken that on very well at all. Let me get back to your comments on there. And I don't feel that they've taken that on very well at all, to the point that they've been and taken it personally and have completely overreacted, and now trying to point out, well, what they're trying to do is actually in their line, which is, where is it? I'll find it in a moment. There you go. And defame and look down upon an LTE product, Rambler RS, and upcoming Eenshin Airloader from a Banggood company. We'll get to that one because that's their new route, and I think they might have some fun with that. Now, the Airloader, so something which I do, and I know many other people do this, is that as when a new model comes out, is that we go and take a look at the model and try and work out maybe who designed it, trying to understand like what kind of powertrains and things which we can do with that. I literally posted a video last night about the Eenshin Razor, which we worked out that most likely it came from Zoe HD or Sonic model. There was definite attributes in there. Even if they didn't make the model, they were definitely there in some form of consulting capacity or something like that, because there was too many common things to the drift, which came out recently, and also the flying location was the same as well. So it was a really nice, just open discussion about the model to see what we could learn about the model before it came out, and is it even worth buying? Okay, so that was the basic summary, and as I alluded to, that we've got one on the way, and we'll take a look at it when it comes. Now, a short while ago is that we did one for the Eachine Airloader. Now, the more we looked at this model, the more we realised that it was quite ugly. But the basic summary is that yes, it might be quite ugly, but we should always hold off final verdicts until we see it fly in the sky. Because we've had this here before many times, haven't we? We've had models here which look very peculiar and actually fly ridiculously well. The Dragonfly model, which you'll see later on in this week. All my timings are out because of the mess last week. Yeah, and you will see this. It's such a strange little model, and it flies absolutely amazingly well. Whereas that we've had other models here which look the part, should be the part, and then turn out to be a complete load of rubbish. So this is why we always hold off final verdicts on models, and that's the thing, is that we are just reviewing the model itself, and the brand and the company behind it are almost irrelevant. However, this is where things have gone down and escalated a little bit more seriously, is because, as we discovered, the Rambler is not perfect, and it had a lot of hunting in there. I think there's a video on the screen which you can go and watch, and it clearly demonstrates the LTErambler hunting in the sky. Now, there was a statement from LTE saying that hundreds of pilots have owned and flown, or so let me get. They didn't say owned; they have flown this model, which we worked out was blatant lies. Now, hundreds means more than 100, and I did a quick fact checking here on a couple of days ago on the 10th of September. So, Banggood, there were 63 sales at the point in time. AliExpress, there was one sold. eBay there was 0. Taobao, which is a Chinese marketplace like eBay, nothing. Alibaba wasn't even found. We did think that maybe 2 models have perhaps gone out for freebies, and then also video creators on YouTube. Now, you would have thought that if a model had been sold to hundreds of people, that there would be quite a few reviews out there, especially what was quite a cool looking model. You would have thought there would literally, for hundreds of people, that there would be a fair amount of videos on YouTube, and there was 5, okay, and that's minus my videos on the LTErambler, Ali, and Songbo, okay. So even if I was wrong at that point in time by a factor of 100 or even maybe more, then I don't feel that this model has been flown by hundreds of pilots, because in the one bit of Chinese footage, which was on some Chinese-based website, it was all in Chinese and there was no voiceover, I think, on it. You could see not only did the model have a badly tuned flight controller, but also at certain points you can just see it hunting in the sky as well. It's blatantly obvious, and this is what it basically boils down to. LTE have basically disliked some constructive feedback on a model, and it's such a simple modification, and they seem to have escalated it to a whole new level. There is no lies, there is no truth to be said, other than the model does have issues, and they are very simple to resolve. However, this does bring us into the bigger picture now, which is making me question the whole model as a whole. The model itself is not a bad model. If you purchase one, I'm sure that you're going to enjoy it. We have several modifications, and I'll pop a video out on that very shortly. And they are all minor, and they're not there to defame LTE or Eachine or whoever. They are just some constructive feedback upon the model itself, as any other reviewer would have done, I'm sure. They were so obvious and so easy to do. It's no biggie, okay? However, we now need to holistically look at everything which has gone on here, which is that LTE have, and there are definitely associated parties, Ali Mansour, for example, have really disliked any form of criticism, no matter how minor. I'm just going to stress this: 40 millimeters of minor, just a minor modification to a model, and a few other little simple tweaks, just to make it better so it flies straight, because not all of us fly models in a straight line. We do use the sticks every now and again, and what it has now transcribed into that only real and serious FPV pilots would use a model like this, or the Airloader, for example. So something which they probably will never live down now, because I won't let that one go for sure. So I was trying to make the point. LTE. So the model itself isn't bad. However, the whole experience, as an overview, and the dealings with LTE as a brand has been absolutely appalling. And I cannot sit here and talk to you about a model and not now account for the situation which we find ourselves in, which is that when Songbo or Ali decided that they didn't like a video which was made about their product, they decided to censor it, and then that person, which was myself, went on to create a LTErambler's fan group, which, by the way, there's a link to it in the video description if you'd like to join it, for fans of the LTErambler, because I then felt, well, actually, no, if I'd bought this model and spent £100 on it, like $120, I would want to know that I need to throw it at full curve, like full throttle, and to throw it in a straight line. And also a few little minor modifications to make the model better. That's why I created the group, because it was very obvious that it was going to be censored in the other group. And that's where the issue has come from. They don't like that somebody else has pointed out some blatantly obvious issues with their model. And everything which has been transcribed from there is just being frankly appalling. Now, before we go any further, I just want to quickly take a few moments to have a look at your comments. So those of you which are on live, okay, or maybe those of you which are watching the recorded version, there's on the right hand side of your screen or below here, there'll be an option to see the live review of the comments which are going on. So I'm picking up Drone and Sundry, which I know personally is that they are shooting themselves in the foot by responding by like that. So I have absolutely nothing to hide here, okay? I strongly urge you to go and read this document, okay? Nothing to know, I've never written this, but just be aware that everything is out, the timeline is all wrong. Okay, it's been twisted up, so you have stuff at the beginning, which was like ages ago, and they've moved it around to their own requirements. Okay, but it does come back to the key point that they just didn't like that original video of the LTErambler RS, decided that it was best to censor it, and have grossly overreacted for every moment since, and hence why I cannot personally recommend to you. The model's not bad, okay? It's not. We've had far worse models here out of a box, to be brutally honest. But the whole experience with the brand has absolutely been terrible. And I'm not doing that to defame them. They have managed to do that to themselves, okay? You couldn't make this stuff up. It is just shockingly, it's lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. Okay, it's not a pleasant place to find myself in as a reviewer, because I am now left second guessing. If I suggest that you put 4 centimeters of foam on your model to make it fly in a straight line, am I going to run into exactly the same terrible circumstances which I've had with Ali Mansour and Songbo from LTE as a brand? That does make you second guess whether you're going to get involved. Well, you don't want to touch these guys again with a 10-foot barge pole. It's been absolutely appalling, but it's not been that good. So, sorry, just getting back to that. Yes, they have absolutely shot themselves in the foot. Looking at Mr. D falling with Star, a manufacturer who doesn't accept and learn from issues with their products will never make great products. Currently need to listen to their user base. Absolutely. Look at what's the best example which I can say? TBS Crossfire. Okay, and I know some of you won't like Trappy. Okay, I've got to be perfectly honest. I'm not the biggest fan myself. Okay, but you cannot knock the guy for having some passion and creating some great products, listening to feedback, and then involving it, okay, into what is a very good product. And in many ways, I like the guy for the way which he takes the pee out of his competition. I think that is absolutely hilarious. But he does take on, and they do take on criticism, and things do get changed over a period of time, okay? That's how the world works. The world does not work by, oh my God, our model does hunt a bit around. And again, there's unequivocal evidence that the LTErambler, does wander in the sky. It's pretty bad, to say the least. And with the evidence which is presented to us, they've tried to censor that and say that their model is practically perfect in every way. I just don't understand that. No, they just want anything to expect. It's very peculiar. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, again, do keep comments clean. We're not here, and again, those of you which have, I did say something bad at the beginning, which I do apologise for. It wasn't meant out that way. Frags hiding on a rock. Never heard of Ali, thankfully. Good thing I missed out on all those excellent models reviews. That's the other point which I wanted to make, which is that we here, we take a model and we take it for what it is. Okay, it's a model airplane at the day. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are not so good. Some of them need a bit of modification. It's just the way it is. However, I am not a person who has a long, well-documented history of saying every single model is practically perfect, amazing, or perfect in every possible way. That is not how the world works. I understand why some channels like that exist, and there was a really nice comment by Sir Bruce in a previous video about, and I am diverting myself away now from the Ali topic. Well, someone there, but it's more into reviews in general, is that I do appreciate that when maybe when you're first starting out, that you should feel that you should review every product very highly, because there is an incentive there to say to the outside world that the model is practically perfect in every way, and earn a commission from the sale of that. And that's the thing, is that I see this as a trust-based exercise, something which I've hopefully exercised extremely well over the last 3 or 4 years, which is that when models do turn up and are good, we can look at them, and we can look at them together, both from a reviewer's point of view, but also as a fellow RC pilot's point of view, and try and understand the model and pick up any good things or bad things, as the case may be, so that we can enjoy the models together. And I'll keep many of the models here stay. Some find new homes as and when they do. It's just the practicality of getting through so many models through each year. However, not every single model is perfect or amazing, and I certainly don't cheat by using stabilized video and things like that. These things are made real, and they are as they are. These are, especially with the LTErambler, it was a learning experience as well. Looking at Caroline on there, I find it sad that a company cannot take constructive criticism. I say yes, V2 will be better because of the feedback. Iteration is fundamental. Example, SpaceX, absolutely. Maybe use the McLaren F1 team, for example, where there is no blame per se within the team. They just analyse what went wrong, what they could have done better, and the whole company moved forwards, and that is why they absolutely dominate. Or one of Hamilton and his work with Bottas specifically is a prime example of how well when a good environment happens and these things can move forwards. However, trying to lie and censor less than desirable videos is always a bad thing, isn't it? And that's what we've been and experienced here. Mark says on there, let's have a quick look. Time to move on. Anyone who watches you knows that you are not a racist. It's foam. I have no expectation of ethical behaviour with the LTE Banggood Ishin. Ali M is such a joke anyway. Crap reviews. That's not my view. I would try and I'm just trying to read out some of these things which are going on there. Right, sorry, someone stood in a fast food restaurant as well. Random comments, you'll see those on the left or the right hand side of your screen. So there you go, that is the point which I wanted to make. I strongly urge you to go and have a read of this document. There are some personal attacks in there. I'm quite thick-skinned. I don't have. I need to phrase this very specifically. Okay, the Rambler RS is not a bad model if you tweak it. The brand and the entire experience, which I've been and received from both Songbo and Ali Mansour, has been absolutely appalling. And I cannot sit here and recommend a product or a company or a brand to you which have clearly demonstrated that they have a very adverse dislike to censure to anything which is said slightly badly about their product. Now, this is not a case of defamation or slandering, which was in their words, not mine. We'll stop slandering Banggood and Ishin products. That is not the case at all. It's a model. It needs 4 centimeters of foam on the top of it to stop it waggling around in the sky. it was not very enjoyable to fly like that. So that is not the case at all. However, I cannot sit here in front of you and suggest to you that you should purchase a model like this or have any interaction with a brand who cannot take on very clear and concise, constructive feedback. This is not me. If you think about all the models which we've done, I've not blown it up. I have not done stupid stuff to it. Whatever. It's all been constructive, and what I've been received back is absolutely appalling. So no, if you want to take it as defamation or slandering of the LTE brands, that's up to you. But I cannot sit here in front of you and suggest that the LTErambler as RS and the brands and the support which I've received from numerous individuals is not an experience which I can pass on to you. And please go and have a read of this. Remember, the timeline is mixed up to suit their own purposes. And also, I just want to make the point, there is a Facebook group for the LTErambler RS. Okay, this group, it has zero censorship in there. Okay, if you have something good or bad to say about the model, that's absolutely fine. That is the reason why I created the LTErambler RS fan group, okay, is so that owners who go on and purchase this model in the future, okay, can learn from experiences which we have had as a community in the future, okay. And I won't block videos which are less than desirable launches, okay, or show the model in a less than perfect light, okay. I have been a fan of the model, and I will continue to post in there. I think I've got the next whole month covered with updates about the model as well. That will continue into the future, and I've got to be honest with you, I will continue to own this model and to modify it, and I will share those updates with you, not to annoy Sungbo or to Ali. I will do that because the model does require modifications, and I will do that for like I said, the people who go on to purchase this model unknowingly of everything which has gone on with the lies and the censorship and the really bad experiences which I've had and many of you have witnessed firsthand, because there will be people who have this model later on and it would be bad to them, okay, because how could I close that group knowing what happens in the other one? It's not on, okay, you wouldn't like that, would you? So, yes, blow it up. I'd love to stick a rocket in it, but I don't think that's constructive, okay? I think that would give Ali, Mansour and Songbo, who they have stated that there was no partnership there, although there blatantly is, I think that would give them much satisfaction and maybe quiet me down for the LTErambler, but I don't think that's the right way forward. So I think the way forward is to share with everybody the things which do need to be tweaked with it, so we can move forwards as a group. And yes, Morning View censorship is absolutely whack. It's absolutely crazy. So do keep in the back of your mind, the only piece which I feel is in line is that one there. Okay, is that how did it all start? It basically started that I posted a video of a launch, the maiden of the LTErambler. They didn't like it, closed the video, booted me out because, oh my god, it's less than a perfect review of the model. So I created a Facebook group. They didn't like that somebody else had taken some form of control away from them, and it went downhill very, very fast to the point that they were accusing me of being a racist, etc., etc. So those of you looking for a new flying wing, I don't buy a Rambler, to be perfectly honest. Like I said many times, the model itself, not bad. The whole brand and everything which goes with it is not good. I would hate to be lining the pockets of Ali Mansour and Songbo for a product which has issues, and for a company which cannot take on positive, and it really is positive criticism about that. And you'll notice at that point in time, I was even very polite on there. The manufacturer's attitude towards customer support is a whole different discussion, less than desirable. I thought I was being very professional by doing that and not really bringing it up, because I was just wanted to focus in on the model. However, this is now expanded out to a much deeper and wider array. So anyway, I could talk all evening about this because I'm bit pissed off about it, to be honest, but there's nothing to really hide. The links to this article is in the video description. You can go and have a look at Ali Mansour's videos, Ali Shambo, or whatever it is, Shanmeo on YouTube. Okay, please do go back and look at every single product is absolutely fantastic and perfect in every possible way. However, when we all know that is just not the case at all. And I won't hide that this is the other thing which I've come to the conclusion of. If a model has a blatant flaw in it, which is easily solvable by a little bit of foam, I will share that with you. And I hope that other reviewers out there will do things like that as well, because I would hate for anybody else to run into such an appalling set of circumstances where I would be second guessing should I mention that this product has this issue with it. That's not a good place for me to be put into if we're looking at a model or some FPV monitors, which is coming out tomorrow, actually, a review on that one. Ironically, the one free, even now I'm second guessing that video which I made for, there's a video which comes out tomorrow about the FPV monitors. I'm actually second guessing that one already because ironically it was the free one which won. I bought a small one, I already had some goggles, and I bought a big one as well, and then Banggood sent me the Eachine Mon Eagle. It was the Mon Eagle which won, okay? And I am now second guessing, should I have said, well, it was the best one out of them all, but can you see how this is now making me re-evaluate everything which I am doing because of the absolute silliness which has gone on with a brand who cannot take any form of constructive criticism to it. It is a very weird time. Now, of course, looking towards the future, we do have the Eachine Airloader on the way to us very shortly, hopefully by the end of the month. And we'll take a look at that one. Like I said in the original video of the Eachine Airloader, it is a very ugly looking model. It seems to be a model where they've tried to get every single different feature onto it with no real accountability of design in there. But if you watch that video, which you can just about see it just above my head. If you go and watch that video, the basic summary is that we hold our final verdict until we get it into the sky. We just never know until it flies. I am just now really concerned that if it is a bit of a not very good model, then if I don't say anything less than being perfect for that model, am I gonna now end up with Ali and Songbo from LTE going absolutely mental at me about the model itself? I am a little bit concerned about that one. It has been bought and it will be on the way to me, and I am now very concerned about that one because I just hope, I genuinely, like, touch wood for sake, I really do hope that it flies well, because if it doesn't fly well and I stick up a review on it and I say that it doesn't fly very well and document the reasons, what are these guys going to go and do? What else can they try and do? Actually, that leads me on the last point, is that these guys are not thick. These guys are now going after Banggood, and they're trying to, because they didn't like the comments about my comments about the Rambler, is that they are now going after the Banggood theme and trying to twist it so that I am defaming or all those bad words a Banggood brand, Eachine, because remember, Eachine is a rebranding brand for Banggood. So if you look at the LTErambler, whichever screen it was, the Eachine Airloader. Eachine is a brand of Banggood. That's why some of the Eachine products are really good and some of them are not very good, is because they are rebranded products. They don't make, they specify certain things, but companies go to them with options like Songbo must have gone to Banggood with this new model design, and then they've done it as an in-house brand. So what then, like I said, these guys are not thick. What they're trying to do right now is trying to tell Banggood that I am defaming or slandering the Eachine brand. and that's now going to cause me some issues directly with Banggood as well. That is going to be a very interesting one which plays out over the next couple of weeks and months. We all know that that's rubbish. We just take a model as is, and we do our best to, I've got a long history of doing it, to review a model adequately, in short. So yeah, really concerned about the Airloader. Genuinely concerned about the Airloader, because if I say anything which is less than perfect or factual, well, no, not even factual. If I say anything which is less than what they want to hear, then I have got some serious issues coming up. So this is me second guessing the future now. These guys are not daft, they're not stupid. They have done, and they are trying to, because it's in their own words, will stop slandering Banggood and Intune products in his reviews, which is completely not the case at all. The basic summary for the Airloader is that it just needs, we need to fly it. So I am a little bit concerned about that one for the future. Right, let's have a quick look. Right, so Morning View says, I remember a year or so ago you made a film about everyone in the RC market was getting scammed by fake reviews. They have been plotting against you ever since. Probably. Remember, I was a very much... remember, the YouTube channel was self-funded for several years. It cost me tens of thousands of dollars to start and run this channel. Remember, we're dealing with RC. It's highly specialised in one area. We're not even doing multi-rotors, are we? Okay, if I was doing quads, this channel would be absolutely massive, would it not? Okay, if I was chucking around a quad up and down buildings, etc., etc., this channel would be 10 times the size. Okay, no, we do RC fixed wing models. Okay, that's the specialization, and as such, it is a very, very, very niche area. Okay, that's why reviews like mine and other reviewers who do fixed wing are so critical, and this has really just put into question the whole my whole concern about reviews going into the future, especially with LTE products, because they're just absolutely mental. They have not reacted to what has been very sensible and factual modifications at all very well, and they've tried to call me a racist. They tried to do other things, and they really have twisted the timeline on it. Just do read it, okay, but just be aware the timeline is all wrong and has been twisted to make it look good. But it all literally just started, and they've got that piece right, because that's where it all started. The moment I created the LTErambler RS group and took away that censorship from them, they've not liked it, and I've gone off on a big personal bender ever since. Right, on that note, it is time for me to wrap up. I am just going to quickly whip down your comments on here. AD says, I'm not sure the LTE is a bad model, but truthfully I wouldn't support a company that can't take criticism. That is basically the point of this video. Well, there was 2 points to that one. I have absolutely nothing to hide. Please go and have a read of it. Okay, number 2, how can I sit here and recommend a model to you? And when the designer, the person who has, the partner, Ali Mansour, has stooped to many very peculiar levels to do with the model to try and censor the model, which has blatant issues. Remember, go and watch the hunting video, okay? You cannot make that stuff up. The model hunts in the sky and a piece of foam resolves it, okay? There is no slandering of the LTE brand. I'm not a fan of the LTE brand now, for all the reasons which we have been here and discussed, and I cannot recommend that you go on and purchase a model from them now or in the future, because of how bad it has got with very shady business tactics and a company's or brand's inability to take on positive criticism to a model. Okay, it literally was just 40 millimeters of foam, fixed it. So yeah, AD, very, very good point there. Let's have a look. So a quick, and then doing it back to back. I've just seen on there. Right. On that note, it is time for me to wrap up. I would like to say a massive thank you to everybody who joined in here live this evening. I will just quickly go back over the facts just to quickly summarise. Do go watch the maiden video, okay? Well, no, you don't have to watch the maiden video if you've probably already seen it. Go and watch the nose hunting video, okay? You see the model hunting in the sky. It is glaringly obvious and so simple to fix. The real truth behind this, there is the real truth, and it's written right there, okay? Everyone else is just mishmash of whatever else. Is that they didn't like a less than favourable review of a product, banned me from the group, which I got the person wrong. Remember, there was 3 people in that, admins in that group. 2 were Ali Mansour, and 1 was Songbo, which I'd never come across. So I had a 66% chance of getting it right with Ali. Obviously, may have got it the wrong person, but like I said, I'd even said that at the time anyway. The moment I created a new group, it just went downhill because they lost control. That's the underlying issue here. They don't like that they've lost control of their brand for when it comes to the LTErambler, and it has literally just downward spiraled ever since to lies about the model itself not having any issues at all. Hundreds of pilots flying the Rambler RS, which we proved was a lie as well. Okay. It is a lie. There's no way, even if I was 100% wrong with that, there's just not the evidence out there to say that hundreds, like 200, 300, 400 pilots have flown this model when it's factually incorrect, and many other things which we've mentioned. And I just need to close that down there in the background. Please go and discuss. There is a LTErambler Facebook group, so the link to it is in the video description. And of course, a big thank you from me to you for taking the time to join us here for a less than desirable topic. It's such a shame that we are in such a circumstance, or it's just such a shame for such a terrible set of circumstances because somebody didn't like that they lost control of their brand because of censorship. It's such a shame that the model isn't that bad of a model and they have reacted in such an appalling way to myself. And I strongly urge that those other people out there who have got them, please fly your model around. And if you catch your LTErambler hunting, please put it on video because you can't make that up. The model does hunt, okay? Try adding 4 centimeters of foam on top of it and see if that fixes it for you too, because that's what happened for me, and I'm absolutely shocked that the LTE brand has been and reacted in such an appalling way. It's not defamation, it's not slandering, it's based upon fact. Okay, it's an RC model which hunts around the sky and does require some minor modifications. You can't hide from those things, and it'll become more and more apparent, and that's really the reason why fan groups like this one are absolutely key, because they allow uncensored comments about models so that we as RC pilots can get together and pass on constructive feedback. So yeah, roll on a year or so, if this model's still being manufactured or still being passed around, hopefully the person who finds it wants to modify it. There is a group there which they can trust where it won't be censored on them. So there you go. A big thank you from myself, Matt, for joining me here live tonight. A little sneak preview of what's coming up very shortly. Number 1, I have a FPV monitor shootout. This is actually a project which has gone on for about 6 weeks now. I've had these different screens here. I have been chosen a winner. I kind of alluded to which one won earlier, although each monitor itself does have its own positives, and I cover each of those. That video is out tomorrow night. I sincerely hope that you enjoy that one. We also have, there's 2 other videos which I must get out. The next video which I need to get out for you is the Dragonfly. Absolutely amazing. Those who saw that tiny little model which sent up, absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to get some flight footage out of that one because it does fly superbly well. Literally flew it twice here earlier today. Not feeling 100% today from that stupid cold which the kids brought home. But I did sit out the front, smash it around the sky. So enjoyable. even on 2S, it flies slow, it flies fast, it does stuff. It's just good. And it's got landing gear as well, so I can land it on the drive and stuff like that. So look out for a video on that one. The wrap hacks is coming out also very shortly too. I also have a video. I need to let you aware, though, that there are 4 videos going to come out very close to each other. Sorry, 5 videos are going to get all published on the same night. Okay, I'm not going to apologise for posting those 5 videos in one go. The reason for that is that I asked Banggood for some lipo safe bags, and part of that I needed to review each one. So we got 4 separate videos for each of those bags, which I'll send out in the middle of the night. Okay, but I do have like a big overview to all the 4 bags which they did send to me, so you can see which one I chose, or you might choose one of the other ones for your own uses. Okay, so we've got that one. Once those 4 plus the main overview video is out, we can start setting fire to them and sticking fireworks in them and dousing them in petrol to see how, and stabbing lipo batteries in there, just to prove the worth of a lipo battery bag, which is on one hand some really good fun, okay, but also there'll be a underlying serious tone here, which is that it's going to be, for goodness sake, use a lipo safe bag, because they are so cheap. And heck, look, there's 4 to choose from. Okay, and actually one of them was so good, they have turned up. I need to get this the right way around because it's got my address on it. They have actually turned up today. Well, I'll show you actually. It's the, leave that out of the way. Yeah, they were so good. I literally went on and bought 2 myself because they were so good. They were, and that's probably coming out lovely on the microphone. Yeah, Jupu, whatever they were, those ones, absolutely fantastic. Really like them. That's one of the nice things, is that sometimes you discover stuff which is actually really, really good, to the point that I went and spent $20 out of my own cash to go and get 2 of them, so I can keep the one which they sent me for free, go and set fire to it, etc., and I can then go and use those for my own abuses. So that's actually mentioned in the overview video as well. Thermite, Lee says as well. I do have thermite as well. Ready, set, test. Most reviewers just unbox and say the model is good, and 2 videos, it's done. If you check their videos later on, they make modifications on the quiet. Yes, absolutely. That's actually a very interesting point, because, Darren, I've got thermite here. Those of you which don't know what thermite is, it's aluminium oxide and something else, iron filings. And you stick a sparkler in it, and put it this way, I am scared of it. The amount of heat which that generates is because you basically make molten aluminium and molten iron. It is extremely scary stuff. I literally pooed myself last time. It was not a fun experience. So we will try, if it needs it, then we'll use that for it. So yeah, moving on. So yeah, ready, set, test. Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens. Sometimes we'll only get 1 video, or maybe 2, an unboxing, a maiden, and if you're very, very lucky, a modification afterwards. But no, the LTErambler, I will keep it around because I think there's value in it for those people who don't know about this later on, and I will share my experiences over a period of time as well. As for should you go and buy one, you can make your own decision on that one. You've seen how things will get manipulated to make other people look better. Okay, although I am a little bit concerned on there. Hang on, let me just get this on there. So, and his followers can show you the real face of these people stooping so low to serve their malicious and deceitful intentions for their own personal vendetta and revenge against Ali Shamo. No, I have nothing against Ali. I do not like being lied to. I'm sure you appreciate that you do not like being lied to. I have nothing against Banggood at all. Banggood have been absolutely fantastic. LTE as a brand has been absolutely appalling, and that's what's been tonight's main topic. We're going to have a read of that. I did find it quite bemusing, but remember, how did it all start? That's the one factual piece. Everything else is out of time on there. So with that said, for myself, Matt, a big thank you to you for taking the time to join me here live. I genuinely do appreciate this. This was recorded live. I did have some notes which I was trying to use in the background. Let me have a quick look. Right, no, I think I've covered everything which I wanted to. Yeah, the final summary is that I cannot sit here and recommend the LTErambler RS to you, not because the model is a terrible model, it's because the brand and my personal interactions with them has been absolutely appalling with them for everything which we've been and discovered here this evening. And I would hate for you to go through those kind of experiences because they have been less than desirable. And of course, remember there is a LTErambler RS fan group link on Facebook in the video description for you too. So with that said, we should have been watching the FPV monitor shootout tonight until we got a load of rubbish posted about me earlier, hence the way we've done a live stream. But hey, you've been enjoyed me here with a croaky voice and a very, very achy Mac, and I sincerely hope this cold disappears very quickly so I can get back to CrossFit. I am missing that immensely at the moment. So anyway, with that said, for myself, Matt, big thank you to you for taking the time to join me here. If you are watching the recorded version, any comments or questions, please let me know in the comments section underneath this video. If you've enjoyed tonight's live stream, do me a favour, hit the thumbs up. If you've not enjoyed tonight's live stream, show me the respect by hitting the dislike button. Not once, do it twice. Yeah, twice. Press it twice, twice the anger. And there's Matt's sense of humour. I hope you get it. So with that said, for myself, Matt, I'll catch you again shortly. Happy flying, ladies and gentlemen. And hey ho, move on. Cheerio.